Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage.
Hello, Cubanwriter here, and today I was excited to review the first episode of Netflix's new Marvel show, Iron Fist.
How excited were you?
I was so excited that I took the day off, and so did you. So we were both super excited to review this new show and binge watch the whole thing.
I don't like to binge watch stuff, but I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we might have made better use of our time now that I've seen it. Okay, I guess before I begin, I should properly introduce my wife, Darklingfae. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Last night, as kind of a joke, I sent my wife a video clip from Shmo Yoho. They had a music video that I recommend everyone watch called Chicken Attack, about a wise martial arts master who has supernatural control over chickens and sicks them on evildoers. And as incredible as it may sound, although actually I think I described that to be pretty entertaining, it was more entertaining than Iron Fist.
A true story.
Yeah. So, what is Iron Fist about? In case you're not aware, the Rand family was lost in a presumed plane crash over the Himalayas, I guess a decade and a half or 2 decades ago.
15 years ago.
Was it 15?
Yeah.
And now an adult claiming to be Danny Rand has cleverly divined the creepiest and most offensive means of reintegrating himself back into society and introducing himself to the people he used to know, who now run his family's company, Rand Enterprises, I think it's called.
I don't know if I would say it was creepy, just, ill thought out.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost to me, it seems to me as though an idiot, or perhaps someone with a mental condition, said, hey, I've been gone for a really long time, and nobody knows who I am, or what became of me, but I'm just going to walk in off the street looking like a bum and act surprised when nobody acknowledges me or decides to accept me back into their lives. And along the way, just to make sure that really nobody has any reason to trust me or believe me, I'm going to beat up some security guards who were trying to escort me out of the building.
Well, I don't understand what's wrong with that plan. It seems perfectly well thought out and logical, and any intelligent person would think, yeah, that's going to work.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Let me be honest. I don't know what happened to Danny Rand while he was away. I don't know what strange society he might have fallen into. But if he remembers anything about his life before he got lost, and what was he, 10 at the time or something?
10.
If he remembers anything about his life back then he should know this is a really super creepy way to introduce yourself to everyone. It doesn't make it any better when he breaks into that lady's house either.
No, but that was really just to show off his martial arts.
And that's another problem I have with this, is it's like one encounter after another that seems to exist. And you were saying this as we were watching it. It's just like somebody wrote this just so he could do, oh look, let's write a scene where he gets to beat up some security guards so everyone can see he can kung fu fight. Let's write a scene where instead of stepping out of the path of a car, he flips over it so everyone can see he's an acrobat. Let's write a scene where I don't know. What else does he do in this episode?
He jumped up the building when he broke into it.
Oh, yeah. When he breaks into this building, he will do some Jackie Chan stuff to get into the second floor so everyone can see how Jackie Chan-like he is. Other than the fight in the middle, in the crowd, does anything else happen in this?
Do you really care if anything else happened?
No.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, after the episode, do you really care what he did and what he can do? And I guess the big kicker is, Do you really care where he's been all those 15 years? Do you want to know where he's been? No.
That's right. They give you
Not
no...
really.
It's true.
I cared more about the bum Big Al and his story than anyone else here.
That bum talk, by the way, also bothered me.
We did learn how the internet works, so thank goodness for that. Thank you, Netflix!
Right? So he meets this bum in Central Park. I guess it's Central Park. And the bum's like, hey, I just got this iPhone. Let's use it before the actual owner shuts it off.
Which, by the way, doesn't make any sense since he had alluded to being able to call his sister and how she was still not a very nice person. So it's like he had the cell phone for a while.
I guess he made that phone call immediately before meeting Danny Rand.
I guess.
And he's like, hey, did you know that you can get on the internet through this iPhone? And when you get on the internet, you can look up things throughout the whole world, anything you want. And I'm trying to figure out...
I did not know that before this episode, so I feel a lot smarter.
Yeah,
I'm going to go on the internet right now just to see all the things I can find out.
It absolutely made no sense to me that someone would be talking to someone else in this day and age. It made
that, by the way, is the internet.
Yes. So he's trying to explain to somebody what the internet is as though they're a medieval knight who came through time or something.
Maybe he did. We don't know where he's been for the 15 years, and we really don't care. I'm kind of not looking forward to having to watch the second episode and to binge this.
The biggest disappointment is that they give you absolutely no reason to like Danny Rand or to care about his fate or the fate of his company or the fate of his family. Most of the things the presumed bad guys do right up until they try and kill him, most of the things they do make sense to me. Yeah, if this creepy bum comes into your corporate offices and beats up your security guards and tells you that he's a dead man, you're going to want to get rid of him. That's normal behavior. The abnormal behavior is done by our hero, who we don't care anything about. It's very frustrating. The episode ends without any kind of real hook or interesting event having occurred. And there's absolutely no reason for us to want to watch the next episode.
Well, they tried to end it on a cliffhanger. It's just, unfortunately, you just don't care where... You don't want to jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
If this was a regular television show and it wasn't feeding into the Defenders, because I know that Iron Fist is going to be one member of the Defenders, I would have no reason to follow up this episode with any other episode in the series. There's absolutely no reason for me to want to watch, to find out what happens to Iron Fist or Danny Rand or any of it. And that is the ultimate disappointment. They have given you nothing to care about.
No, I mean, it's sad they spent all this money and all this time and effort, and it's so bland and uninteresting. You would think that the money would make something interesting. But like I said, I'd like to know more about Big Al.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to learn anything else about Big Al.
That's the real disappointment, guys.
Now, I did want to, speaking of bland and uninteresting, I did want to touch on the opening credits because Netflix has done a pretty spectacular job creating really interesting and innovative opening credits for each of their shows. Until now. There is not really much interest in watching this black and white guy doing his kung fu maneuvers. I thought they were going to go for something interesting because as he's moving through his kung fu maneuvers, he leaves like an ink trail the way a brush would if you were writing some kind of...
calligraphy?
Yeah, calligraphy. But it doesn't add up to anything. It's not like he's written something interesting by the end of it. You just see some guy doing some Tai Chi with brushstrokes behind him, and then the show starts. It's so disappointing. From the first frame to the last frame, there's no reason to like this. There's no reason to keep watching this. And sadly, because I care about the Defenders, and I don't want to miss any pertinent information, I'm going to have to watch the next one. And if it's bad, the one after that.
You can really just read the synopsis on Wikipedia.
I could, but...
I'd recommend that. it seems more entertaining and a better use of your time.
I will say that unless you're a super completist nerd like me, I would skip the series. I promise that if anything interesting or intriguing happens during this series, I will make another review episode and cover whatever that is. But I have my sincere doubts after watching the first episode that anything will happen I actually care about before it's over.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Wikipedia synopsis, for me, it is.
So with apologies to my viewers, I promise I will try and find something more interesting for my next video. Perhaps another episode of my Galaxy Class Fragility study, which, while dealing with a weird bit of trivia that nobody cares about, still manages to be more exciting than the first episode of Iron Fist.
You should write the backstory for Big Al.
That would be a more interesting show because he had some weird ideas, that Big Al.
I feel like that should be your next show. Big Al's backstory.
Yeah, I want to write a story about the first time Big Al got a pair of shoes that he didn't piss in.
Because he had a goat. You could find the goat.
Or yeah, maybe
The she-goat.
But I mean, he must have thought that there was a curse in these shoes because something happened to him, right? So the story of Big Al and the cursed shoes is the story that would be more interesting than Iron Fist's episode 1.
Yeah. I look forward to that episode.
All right, everyone. This is Cubanwriter signing out. Oh, and by the way, I hope you enjoy the new opening credits. We've been working on them for a while, and I think the new opening credits of my channel are more interesting than the first episode of Iron Fist. Oh, say goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, darling.
You'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy, all for the love of